The generic definition of an organization is that of an organized group of people with a particular shared purpose. The shared purpose is the reason for which something is done, created, or for which something exists. So the purpose of an organization shapes everything about it. It defines it. It shapes its vision, its scope, its goals and strategy, which in turn affects its structure, operations, and performance measures of staff and the overall organization. Purpose is key. What if the claim is made to being an innovation or innovative organization? What might that mean? There are certainly many who lay claim to being part of an innovation organization, particularly when using innovation as a generic term, where it's used to give a sense of forward thinking, of dynamism, of being novel, new, and transformational. In this way, as Benoit Godin has argued, people have a feel for and a sense of what innovation is all about, but few really seem to understand its meaning and relevance, to the extent that innovation might also almost be considered an anonymous concept. Scott Birkin went as far to say that people who use the word innovation most often have the least idea what the word even means. This all then generates a fundamental problem, one in which innovation may be one of those terms which is so overused it is in danger of losing any real meaning, of becoming what is described as being semantically null. When the term innovation then becomes the purpose of an organization, its very vagueness of meaning conveys nothing of the reason for an organization's existence. While this may be seen as an advantage by some stakeholders, it can be disastrous, given that all things stem from an organization's purpose. And if the term is vague, then everything else about the organization, its vision, goals, strategy, operations, organizational structure, will similarly be vague. Vague, that is, in terms of the relevance of delivering to customer needs. Innovation is often used as a generic term that encompasses research, scientific discovery, invention, and its exploitation. However, for innovation to have any real meaning, it is the latter of these that is key. That is, the means by which research, scientific discovery, and particularly invention is transformed into products, services, and processes having social, economic, or environmental value. Research may just be defined as planned search or critical investigation aimed at defining new knowledge with the prospect of such knowledge, but it will have value. Such a definition can relate to scholarly value, as well as practitioner trade and custom research value. Each of these types of research deliver a different kind of outcome. Scientific discovery is a systematic process of observing, identifying, deducing, and explaining new knowledge or phenomena, including underlying mechanisms or implications that were previously unknown or undescribed. It often occurs through research and involves generating findings that have scientific value and that are made available to a broader scientific community for the first time. This really is important for research. Discovery differs from invention, though, which is the process to both conceive of and to embody a discovery, novel idea, or opportunity within a design, process, structure, device, machine, or composition of substances that has practical value, practical use, or application. Thus, invention turns something from a concept into an artifact. Whereas R&D, where the D for development is the translation of research-led invention that takes the artifact and turns it into a tangible plan, design, or physical entity as a new product, service, or process, that has relevance to a market. Then it follows that innovation, which encompasses development, is the means by which an invention is transformed into the product, process, or service and made available and accessible to an end user. Hence, it embraces regulatory, market analysis, commercial business, and sales aspects in delivering invention to the market. So when we discuss the purpose of an organization, then each may be a specialist research organization with the aim of discovery and scholarly practitioner trade or custom output, which may or may not be combined with invention. Or an R&D organization or an innovation organization. In reality, however, there are very few organizations other than businesses that can, on this basis, lay any claim to being an innovation organization. Pardon me. In this way, we see R&D departments embedded within industry, which are innovation organizations because they take an invention, all the way through to market, with differing levels of research at the front end. R&D, however, is not just restricted to commercial companies. It can be undertaken within public research organizations, if that is their purpose. Why does it matter? Why does any of this matter? Well, it all comes down to this focus upon organizational purpose. The purpose affects the day-to-day operations and the culture of an organization. The focus of training, of personal development of employees, the outputs and performance measures, the way success is actually measured. We really do need to be more precise about why organizations exist, especially those funded from the public purse, from the taxpayer. And to do that, we must not hide behind the bluff and the bluster by claiming to be an innovation organization, unless that is genuinely what the organization